Gents, welcome back. Day 2 of the Need for Speed Marathon. How you guys doing? Full career mode? Yes! I really like this game. I don't mind overplaying high stakes. So, create, let's go. It's time for our first car. Sunburst yellow, glacier white, magma red, black, Bahama blue, fire, mist, red metallic. That sounds good. Brilliant silver metallic. I think fire, mist, red metallic, that's my color. So, we start our first tournament against amateurs. We have 5 opponents, 2 laps, Celtic Ruins, Landstraße and Route Adolf. No entrance fee. We can win a fee of 5,000. The entire purse here is 13,800. And we will have to repair if we damage our car. Let's enter. So this is working though. Full controller support, 3D interior, and you can look left and right. And even turn off the lights in the car. Oh yeah, and you will always damage your suspension. On every single jump your car is going to take damage and it's going to make your handling worse. And it's actually going to lead to more crashes. But yeah, even hitting traffic signs is going to put damage on the car. They're 17 seconds behind. Yeah, in the beginning they're not too difficult, the amateur difficulty. Then again, they don't expect you to drive super well right off the get-go. The camera is actually moving around quite a bit.
You've won the race!
Need for Speed 1 is too hard, honestly. At least the PC version, maybe the PlayStation version is easier. Okay, 5k. 5k in the bank. So now we go into the European Tour. 5 opponents, 2 laps. Okay, it's just very similar. Repair, and then I think we can get our first upgrades. Maybe. Let's see. Garage. 5,200. Yeah. So we're getting a nice handling boost. Lower suspension, upgrade the tires for more grip. Oh, we can also get the second upgrades. Improved aerodynamics, better handling at high speeds, weight reduction for top speeds. Let's go. Okay, the last upgrade is 6k. Don't have money for that yet, but hey, look at this. We already changed in our racing suit. We got a spoiler now on the back of the car. So your car does transform with the performance upgrades, which is pretty cool. Better handling because of better driver. This game is so good. Yeah, this game actually supported X input controllers. The previous one needed a direct input controller, and funnily enough, the PlayStation controller just worked. Something that I discovered this year for the first time. I wasn't thinking about it. In all the 5 marathons that we did in the past, I never thought about that, hey, maybe those are direct input games, that's why the Xbox controller doesn't work properly. And that was actually the case. Yeah, the thing is they never changed the standard for X and direct input controllers. That's why they work for such old games. The thing is, these games actually play even better than they did back then, because back then I was playing this on keyboard and mouse, right? I've been a keyboard racer until like the Xbox 360. And when the 360 came out, I bought a controller that was a 360 controller which could be connected to the PC. If I would remake the career mode of this game, I would put more track variety in at all times and probably reduce the lap number. There's some insanely long tournaments later. I should actually check out the speedrun route for this game, where you collect a bunch of silver and bronze medals just to quickly advance through the necessary stages. But considering I play this game once a year, I kind of like playing it casually, normally. The problem is once you know the speedrun strats, it's very hard not to use them. I always notice that when I play Most Wanted. Like your mind changes, like you think it's more fun to use the speedrun strategies. So this event is kind of fun to farm, because you can farm it, sell your opponent's car all the time, and you're gonna make a lot of money very quickly. Like if you're going by money per time, risking your car is the best. High risk, high reward. Also, I think in this game, if you rage quit, you also automatically lose your car. I think the game checks after the race if you actually keep your car or not. So I think if your game crashes, you also lose your car, because it can't differentiate between a game crash and intentional closing of the game. Yeah, you wouldn't download a car. I would definitely download a car. Also its entire upgrades, a paint job change. I would download the service for the car. I would download the insurance. I would download it all. We can sell. Wait, did I just load the same one? Oh wow, I want a car that's identical. It's the same color. Let's do this one first. I need 7,500 in. Yeah, I have no money for upgrades. But yeah, it actually has pop-up headlights. Oh, they don't have an animation though. In Porsche they actually have an animation. But yeah, the game actually has a few endurance events like these, where I do 8 laps. You can actually see that my suspension is taking damage every time I make a jump.
You've won the race.
Oh man, I do not want to pay those bills. Alright, repair the car. You wanna see how it unfolds, literally? Car's folded. For 33.13, it unfolds. Ka-ching! Now 11,000, not yet. For AA cars, we're gonna get double-digit repairs. Atlantica. Yeah, this is memory lane. That's why it's called memory lane, because it's 5 events from Need for Speed 3. It makes so much sense now. Level design, I should have some kind of award for this game. I agree. The map design is super good. Like, I really enjoyed it. This game doesn't have an open world, because it allows for so many creative tracks. And that luckily continued for both Porsche and Hot Pursuit 2. Like, I feel like they actually had artistic freedom and some good ideas too to actually make something fun, something good. The environment looks nice. Yeah, I think like the coloring that they did, the coloring of the environment and generally how the environment look, it's just really good. It's a good looking game. Yeah, 3 minutes. 3 minutes to get a Lambo. Imagine. Someone in real life crazy enough to challenge you to a one-on-one for pink slips. 3 minutes and you get a Lambo. How much did you damage my car? Yeah, see? Suspension is always damaged. No matter what you do. Suspension is always fucked. You know, considering the insanity of this car, the interior looks pretty normal. I mean, it is nice. Looks comfortable, this seat. But that steering wheel does not look like supercar, if you ask me. Like, that looks like a Ford basic ass bitch racing wheel. Like, I had a racing wheel like that on my Ford Mondeo. The dash here is quite nice though, not gonna lie. That's good looking. But that's just a basic ass bitch steering wheel. Tour du jour. Okay, I think we're gonna do that tomorrow. Guys, we did it! We survived day 2 of the Need for Speed Marathon. GG. Got myself a Lambo for tomorrow. Nice. Hey guys, Kuru here. Check out Instant Gaming for cheap game keys. Click the link in the description below. Alright, back to career. You know what we did yesterday? We got ourselves a Lambo. And the best way to celebrate getting a Lambo is getting another Lambo. Did you know? That's the way you celebrate. Lambo time. No entrance fee, immediately. Wow, this car is substantially better here. In the shitty conditions, all-wheel drive, hell yeah. It also comes with way better handling. Maybe it's just better handling, I'm not sure if the car is all-wheel drive. It feels like it. Considering the fast start that the car had, I assume it's all-wheel drive. Right, like this is already 2% suspension damage. I find it silly that he takes suspension damage. Obviously, the map design is fine. I think the map design is fun the way it is, so I wouldn't change that. But I definitely would change the fact that you take damage when you jump. So, Sunburst Orange. Ooh, red is kind of nice. I think I like it red today. Boom, 500,000 down the drain. The cool thing is, It's actually maxed out. You cannot further upgrade these cars. I guess it would be fun to upgrade them either further. Actually, my opponent might have a CLK GTR.
Go!
See? Now we're gonna get a CLK GTR for free. Saving $500,000. Dude, my suspension is already so damaged the car is grinding. 9.5 hours into the game, we're grinding. I have to go back to A-class. It's actually fairly cheap. Where's my bet? It's very much damaged. This is a super long one. 6 events with 4 laps. Didn't press the repair button. Clean. Next theme for Need for Speed if I was in charge, I would make another Most Wanted. Not a remake, not a remaster, a new Most Wanted. A true sequel. That would be my first project. Yeah, but even if they made Most Wanted like the 2012 beta was, it would still be very similar to what Most Wanted 2012 ended up being, with the weird crashes in physics. Like, the game would have never had physics as good as Most Wanted in 2005. And I'm really curious what that is all about. Like, how were they able to create game engines and the games at the same time? Within a year, right? They were like on a yearly development cycle. Like, I feel like old school developers were so much better, like on a technical level, making the game engines and the games quickly. I don't know, maybe they were working their ass off under really bad conditions, but at the end of the day, they did make better games. Obviously, no idea how it looks like in the development studio itself 20 years ago versus now. But I don't know, just telling about the games, they just did so much better. Right? Without being an insider, you can only speculate what is happening now versus what was happening back then. I remember from the interview with Sagapur, the guy that worked on Most Wanted, is that they actually made the game engine for the game very often, right? That way the game was actually doing what it was supposed to do. They didn't have like this Frostbite engine that they had to use for all games. They had their own engine for every game. Yeah, I don't know, more complex? Do you really think Unbound is a more complex game than Most Wanted? Is it? Like, what are gameplay elements in Unbound that are more complex than Most Wanted? Like, I hear that being thrown around, games are more complex. I don't think that's true for Need for Speed. Driving the cars got more complex, but it didn't get better. Like, the physics are more unrealistic than they've ever been. I would love to debate someone that is actually an insider and, you know, can tell me what's so much harder nowadays. Like, someone that worked on like a black box Need for Speed and now works in a modern game studio. Like, what are actually the differences when it comes to making the game? Because you just need to look at the physics. Look at the physics of any modern arcade racing game. They are garbage. The cars cannot flip over. Right? The cars cannot flip over, and when they hit the wall, they just stop. I can guarantee you the physics in Test Drive Unlimited are gonna suck. At least the crash physics. Maybe the driving physics are gonna be fine. But there is no way you're gonna have an exciting crash in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. You're gonna hit the wall and immediately stop. It's gonna be extremely anticlimactic and as boring as possible. Because they're not gonna make a physics model where a car can actually flip, you know, have a realistic crash. I think Pro Street did the best in that regard when it comes to realistic crashes. Yeah, true, it was the same in Test Drive Unlimited 1 and 2. Like, it already started back then. You can always say, well, we were focusing on something else, but honestly, it feels like they're focusing on nothing. Because I don't see new games coming out with extraordinary elements that have never been seen before. Yeah, GTA has a proper physics model. True. Yeah, GTA 5 crashes are fine. That is not true. The Need for Speed 4 tracks also break your suspension. Every single track has a jump somewhere. You will damage your suspension on every single track this game has. In my opinion, a silly system. Like the wear. Like, the game basically has wear. where your handling gets worse over time, but not because of the tires, because of the suspension getting more and more damaged as you play. The car cannot total, and I actually think it's really difficult to get anywhere near 100%. The problem is, once you get up to like 70% damage, your car is so slow that it's hard to take any more damage. Because you barely build up any speed, so it's hard to damage your car further. 100% just means you can't damage it more. The Need for Speed needs to drop the Frostbite engine. They clearly cannot use it. They have been copy and pasting the code over 5 games now. But we had Rivals, 2015, Payback, Heat, Unbound. They are clearly incapable of making good handling with the Frostbite engine, so maybe the Ego engine of Codemasters does better. And to be fair, it's pretty hard to do worse than Unbound. My most favorite new Need for Speed in terms of gameplay? Probably Heat, because it's focusing more on the cops. I think I'm ready to defend Heat for what it was. I mean, I don't honestly agree that Frostbite engine is bad for racing games. I just think they really badly developed a racing game on the Frostbite engine. They had 5 tries to use the Frostbite engine for a racing game, and they always just copy and pasted the previous game and slightly changed the values. Like, they didn't even try something new. So I honestly think that's a skill issue on the developer side. Especially, it's probably also a management thing, because Call of Duty tried yearly releases, but then they realized that doesn't work with a single studio. So they hired 2 studios to do the job.
You placed first.
Now, I totally agree with that. They are probably time crunching. There's probably not enough developers on the job. But the problem is, it's a downward spiral. You spend less money on development, the game gets worse, then you spend less money because the game was less successful, it just goes down and down and down. I would give some of the blame to the developers and not everything to the publisher. I think that's unrealistic too. Right? I don't think it makes sense to only blame the publisher on everything. I do think that they have a big responsibility, but I just don't believe personally that it's just the publisher that ruins things. Dude, most of the time managers don't know anything about the group that they are managing. So I'm not too surprised if a manager for developers cannot code. The thing is, it's not just racing games that are under pressure, right? There's so many other games out there that are under pressure as well from publishers, and they still make good games, right? Like, racing games right now are under a lot of fire for not being very good and basically being stuck 10 to 15 years in the past, right? But there's plenty of other gaming franchises out there that still make amazing games, and they also have the same publisher, you know what I mean? Yeah, racing games are super mid right now. So, in my opinion, there's more going on than just the publishers being bad. Because I don't subscribe to the idea that just racing games suffer from it and the other franchises are fine. Feel free to correct me and, bring in your own opinion. But I think that's a pretty reasonable way of looking at things. There's definitely some studios out there, if they would develop a game for 10 years, it wouldn't be good. Here's the thing, I wouldn't even mind if a game would look like a PlayStation 2 game if it had good gameplay. Like, graphics is the least of my concerns. But I feel like a lot of racing game development is like, hey, graphics is the most important thing. Yeah, like, one thing that I personally notice is that developers of a lot of old racing games actually were car people. Right? They enjoy cars, they enjoy driving, and they build a game around that passion for cars. And this is one of those games. Not too much damage, man. Dude, I hate being in the pack. Because that's actually something pretty bad about this game. The way cars interact with another is super bad. You get really stuck on the other cars. Funnily enough, when you hit your car on the other side, you might fix the suspension, you balance the car out again so you don't start scratching. Not something I would recommend, because you just damage your car even more. Oh god, this tournament, the North American Tour. Oh, so much cock and ball torture. 8 laps, 6 events. Yeah, this is where we're getting a bit soft kept here. Like, we're already doing jumps where we don't take any more damage. In the beginning, you just take damage for everything. Like, I could consider not repairing the suspension, right? Because I'm not really damaging it anymore. But I'll try that out. Next race, I'll not repair the suspension. I gotta say, the damage keeps you on edge, though. It definitely adds to the gameplay.
6.
Probably one way to not not repair completely unnecessary all the time, to just, you know, keep the suspension where it is. It's gonna be really hard to get even the suspension damage up to 69. I think I will have to have a really hard crash. Like, not just jumping, a hard crash. But this is very money efficient if you only repair once at the end of the tournament. Did you see the absolute insane 5-head strategy that went into this? I'm pretty sure the speedrun actually uses that too. Wipe out the opponent that has the most potential, because then you might be able to skip 2 races even. I told you this event is gonna take 25 minutes. 8 laps, every lap over 3 minutes.
You have won the bonus car.
And up here is the Tournament of Champions.
You completed this tier. You have been awarded the Gold Trophy. You're ready to challenge the next tier.
You'd always talk so much. 8 tracks with 4 laps. Might as well use the new car, right? Okay, I will say one thing. The car definitely has more handling than is indicated here. It's really not that bad when it comes to handling. That would be worse than, let's say, my B car. Right? Like, even that has more handling. Boom, boom. Okay, I will keep this. I'll keep this around for another time. The last 6 races.